Welcome back, y'all, to Patriot Lifting, and this is our Grove GMK 5165. So we got this 165 because reach and weight are kind of something that we run into a lot with the limits of our 110. We were on a job that we filmed a little while back. It was a box culvert system that had to go in the ground, and we had to set up to where we could reach all of the sections of box culvert from start to finish because there wasn't anywhere else to set up. And they actually had to cut us a pad in so that we could get the crane close enough to be able to reach all of it. This 165 ton crane can reach 25 to 35 feet more than our 110 could at its max. So when you talk about 25 to 35 feet, it's about 35 feet right here. Actually, here's 35 feet. That's a good bit of distance in the crane world. That is like substantial. If you can go 30 feet more or 35 feet more, it could be the difference in doing the job or not doing the job. Because a lot of times you can't get any closer. You're on the edge of a bank, or you got a wall in front of you, or you just can't set up any closer for safety reasons because you'll cave the end of the bank off or something like that. So having this is gonna allow us to do a lot more precast jobs in a lot safer manner and not have to set up the crane so much. And in our industry, that's money saved. So undoubtedly, the coolest thing about this crane is it has all-wheel steer. I mean, the thing is 57 feet long right now with it not even in the dolly. And I guarantee I can go through a McDonald's drive-thru if they didn't have the bar. They'd have to take that off because you would, never mind. It'll go through a McDonald's drive-thru. That all-wheel steer, if you can get the front 2 tires past the turn on something, with this, the back 3 tires will just go right around it. It's pretty cool how it actually tracks. And it has a feature where it'll drive away from a wall. So basically you can turn all the tires a certain direction and then just walk sideways with it, which is handy because if you're set up next to a curb or a wall or something like that and you go to turn, the back wheels turn the opposite direction, which means that they're gonna wanna hit the wall if you don't do that. So you wanna make sure that you actually use that feature. Another feature I really like about it is not all-wheel drive, but 3 of the axles pull. So the way you know that the axles pull is when it has the gear reduction hub in it. This is not a gear reduction hub, which means that that is a dead axle, but this is a gear reduction hub. So all the hubs like this, they drive. And last I checked, these big old tires and 3 axles pulling on this thing is probably a lot more capable than old Ruby over there. Probably a lot less likely to get stuck. So one of the things that makes this thing a little bit tricky to drive is it's 10 feet wide, which means it will take up the whole lane and then some of your lane and some of the ditch, which is a little bit, you know, you gotta be like white knuckling it the whole time on 2 lanes. But once you get on the highway, it's fine. The thing that makes it really tricky, because it is so wide, it's almost like driving a dually, because the cab is not actually that wide. If you look at the cab, look down the cab, there's like another foot beside the cab that actually makes it wider. So when you're riding in the cab, you feel like you're not actually taking up that much room. But when you look in the mirrors, you're like way in that other guy's lane, and they honk and get all mad and like run off the road and swerve at you and stuff. Ask me how I know. Yeah, so when you're driving down the road, you be really careful to not get in other people's lanes, because they panic and honk and like give you the finger and all kinds of crazy stuff. People get all kinds of bent out of shape. Like, what are you gonna do with this thing? Oh, let me just get off to the side so you can go by and go do your grocery shopping or whatever. No, I got places to go too. I got things to lift. Look at this block. This block's empty right now. It needs rigging on it. It needs a load on the end of it. That's what it's designed for. I'm getting pumped up now. Yeah. All right. You guys are gonna have to pardon me. We're at my house. The shop's not done yet. And we just got informed it's not gonna be done for a couple months. So we're still kind of running this whole operation out of my driveway and that little shed over there, which is the office. So anyway, let's check out the inside. All right, So it's a little weird getting up in here because the steps are like that. So that's a little bit weird. But other than that, she sits up real high. Pretty simple, really. It's an automatic transmission, got a 500 horsepower engine, and I believe it's a V8 Mercedes. And then the upper has a Mercedes engine as well. So they have two separate engines. So the lower engine drives all the drivetrain, and then the upper engine just runs all the hydraulics for the upper. So yeah, this is our office. It's pretty cool. It's pretty simple, really. All right, so sitting up in this thing, best I can describe it, it's super wide. So you have all this room for activities in the middle, and kind of feels like maybe like a Hummer or something. But it's a little bit weird, but overall, the display, everything's pretty basic. You just got your air conditioning, your heat, four ways, lights, blinkers. And this is your, this is like an exhaust brake right here. This turns it slows the engine down a little bit better. And got automatic transmission, got a manual feature if you want to do manual. And this is your air brakes right here. You can just release your air brakes and you start rolling. Boy, when she's rolling, she don't want to stop. Up here is all your suspension. So this is your suspension, your axles to lock it into 6-wheel drive, your steering modes, and then transmission modes. And then it's got all your vital signs and temperatures and whatnot, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the information that you use is in this. And then you got a radio. You got your Webasto heater. Got a little sunroof right here. Probably not gonna open that, but I really don't know why cranes have sunroofs. I really don't know. Maybe that's some sort of emergency leave quickly type thing, but the boom's up there, so you can't get out anyway. I don't know, put in the comments. I can't figure it out. Anyway, this is for your tuxedos. When you go on to those high profile jobs, you can hang your tuxedos right here. And got your fire extinguisher, got your rigging in case somebody puts your rigging in the front seat. And then in this box is full of all the chart books for this crane. There are a lot of different configurations, and every one of them's got to have a chart. So you better be good at reading and math if you're gonna run this type of crane. Well, now I'm gonna answer some FAQs, if you will. How much does it weigh? Right now, weighs about 130,000, which is heavy enough to really mess up your driveway. How wide is it? Driving down the road, it's 10 foot wide. It's crazy. Most vehicles, to give you an average perspective, a full semi is 8'6" wide. So yeah, way wider than that. Why yellow? Because that's the way it came. I would have chose white. Or, you know, probably not Ruby's color, but I would have chose some other colors, believe me, you know, not necessarily yellow, but who knows, maybe we'll get it wrapped or something. Maybe it'll be like a nice, cool gray color. How much diesel fuel does it hold? And where's the gas tank at? This one took me a minute. It's up there. So you know how you fuel it up? You gotta do this. That's right here. There we go. Yeah. This is your gas or diesel. Holds about 130 gallons. And one of the questions I asked was, is that the only fuel supply? Because there's a separate engine back here. So with the separate engine, it also has a separate fuel tank, which is right here. This is the fuel cap for that. So this upper engine is about the size of like a diesel engine that goes in a pickup truck, maybe like a 5.9. One of the common options for this crane was a 5.9 Cummins for the upper. And the upper is actually incredibly fuel efficient. The lower is incredibly not fuel efficient. I would say it probably gets about 1 mile per gallon, which is easy to do the math on, you know? You put 130 gallons in, you go 130 miles. You're not going far. You're not running from anybody. You're not gonna make it. You don't have to make a fuel stop. So, you know, you're gonna need some guns or something. Anyway, all right. Another common question. How do I get down? So I'll try this way, maybe. No, that's not right. Here we go. Maybe we can do this. Yep. All right. Cool. So are we gonna run this thing in the dolly? Maybe, maybe not. There's gonna be a lot of situations where we're not gonna be able to go with the dolly where we need to go. So we'll have to drop the dolly off to the side or park it in a parking lot, which is gonna be incredibly difficult in or around Atlanta. So there may be some times when we don't run it in the dolly. Just depends on what kind of setup it is, really. But as for you folks at home, you should run your 165s in the dolly all the time. Well, to round it out, we got a sick piece of equipment. We're super excited about the jobs that are to come. I think we're gonna have a lot of possibilities in the cell tower industries, in the precast industries, and pretty much any industry where there's gonna be a lot more reach and a lot more weight. We've been really cutting it close with the 110 for a long time, and reach is something that we just constantly need more of. To be able to roll up and scope out 197 feet of boom is a big deal. And so we're really excited to get this thing working and see what kind of jobs we can get into. I know they're gonna be cool ones, and we're gonna bring y'all along for some of them. So that it's gonna be cool for both of us. We're gonna have a blast, trust me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are having a good one. Keep your booms up.